Welcome back to Decked Out.
On today's episode, we are joined by SenPapi Gabe and Queen of Cardboard. And because today is International Tolkien Reading Day, we thought it would be really fun to bring a full pod of Lord of the Rings commanders.
And of course, thank you to our sponsors, Tales of Adventure, Moxfield, and Ultimate Guard, and today's featured sponsor, Zaxxmas Studios, and the Champion Saga Kickstarter. But we'll be talking about all of those later in the episode.
All right, that's enough from us for now. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Hello everybody, my name is SenPapi Gabe. I make silly, funny videos all over the internet. I like to explain animes and video games, but today we're gonna be playing my favorite game, the Gollum game. My commander is Gollum the Scheming Guide. Basically, I'm gonna swing out on my opponents and make them guess what's on the top of my deck. And then I'm basically gonna buff Gollum up, so if they guess wrong, they die.
Hey guys, my name is Beth, otherwise known as Queen of Cardboard. I play Commander on the internet, and today I'm gonna be playing Lord of the Nazgul. This deck plays the 9 Nazgul in an attempt to get as many ring temptations as possible so that my big creatures swing through and kill my opponents.
Hello everybody, I'm MTGNerdGirl, and today I am playing Arwen, Weaver of Hope. This is a +1/+1 counter deck, but it's a little different than what you maybe have seen before. This one is focusing on making mana dorks that produce mana based on their power or toughness. And then I can use that mana to go even wider and produce even more counters.
I'm VeggieWagon, and it's my 11st birthday. I'm playing Bilbo Birthday Celebrant. I've loaded my deck up with as many life gain triggers as possible to cash in on that Bill bonus. And I only need to make it to 56 life because I also have a bunch of spells that will double my life total, shooting me up over 11-1 and instantly winning me the game.
Today's episode sponsor is the Zaxxmas Studios Champion Saga Kickstarter. Many of you have asked for decked out merchandise, and now's your chance to finally pick some up.
Yeah, this is custom Final Fantasy inspired art for a playmat and tokens of the Decked Out team. Look, we've got me here as an insect, and Airball here as a knight, and NerdGirl over here as a wizard.
You are gonna point to the monster.
Huh? What? Oh, there's also a monster over here.
There's also Hamlet in it, don't forget Hammy. You guys have 1 week or less to pick this up, so don't miss out. This is your final chance. This art, token, and playmats won't be available again. We don't plan on selling them afterwards, at least not for the foreseeable future. So make sure you guys pick it up using the link down below in the description.
All right, well, it's time to play some Magic. Let's go.
Welcome to the table. Let's see who goes first. 11.
6.
12.
5.
I'm gonna go ahead and draw. And I thought I might start violently, but we're gonna be slower today. So I'll start with a tapped land. This is Minas Morgul Dark Fortress. So you can tap it for black mana, or you can tap 3 and a black mana and itself. I can put a shadow counter on target creature for as long as that creature has a shadow counter on it. It's a wraith in addition to its other types. It should be noted that a shadow counter also gives the creature shadow, and it can only be blocked by creatures with shadow.
That's not terrifying
Great.
at all.
Great.
Pass.
And I'll pass.
Awesome. I will draw a card if I can get my fingers on it. I'm gonna play a swamp, and then I do have a turn 1 play, so I will tap it, and I'm gonna play an Explorer's Scope. It is an artifact equipment, and whenever the equipped creature attacks, I can look at the top card of my library, and if it's a land card, I may put it into the battlefield tapped. So I am ramping in black. And then I will pass turn.
I have a boring forest for a turn, and I'll pass.
Well, that's any forest. I will play this Old Growth Grove and pass a turn.
Okay. I'll untap. I'm gonna go ahead and play this swamp. And since you ramped, I'm gonna ramp.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna tap 2, and I'll play Arcane Signet. I'm going to tap that. I'm gonna play Dark Ritual. That'll add 3 black mana to my mana pool.
Excuse me?
Hi. And I'm just gonna play that Nazgul. The Nazgul has Death Touch. Whenever the Nazgul enters the battlefield, the ring tempts me. Whenever the ring tempts me, I'm going to put a 1/1 counter on each wraith I control. A deck can contain up to 9 cards named Nazgul. It's a 1/2, but as per its own text, the ring will tempt me. That will go to level 1 of Ring Temptation, and I will make this guy my ring bearer. And because he entered, he gets a 1/1 counter.
So it's a 2/3 with Death Touch.
For now.
For now, of course.
And I'll pass.
I will untap, I will draw, I will apologize to anybody who likes building decks with the same type of lands. I'm gonna play a different swamp. So people who I see Queen is just internally crying. I'm gonna
support this.
Thank you. I'm going to tap 2 and I'm going to bring out my commander, Gollum Scheming Guide. We're about to play the Gollum game. Now, whenever Gollum Scheming Guide attacks, I can look at the top 2 cards of my library and put them back into any order. Then I will say whether it's a land or non-land. Note, I can lie to you guys. Then my opponent who I'm attacking has to guess whether the top card is a land or a non-land. If you guess right, Gollum leaves combat and nothing bad happens. If you guess wrong, Gollum is unblockable and I get to draw a card.
How honest of a person are you, Gabe?
You're gonna find that out.
Filthy hobbitses.
After that, I will just pass turn.
I'm gonna go ahead and just play a Wirewood Lodge. I can tap it for colorless or to tap it and untap an elf. And I feel sad I didn't get to ramp, so I will play this Birds of Paradise that I just drew. A flying 0/1 that allows me to tap for extra mana. I'll pass.
Wow, that's not an elf. I'm gonna play a Plains, and then I'm gonna pay 2 for Sorin of House Markov.
Oh.
He's just a 1/4 with lifelink and extort, which means I can pay 1 more when I cast the spell to drain everybody for 1. And then also, at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, exile Sorin and return to the battlefield transformed. The backside is like a Sorin Planeswalker. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. I'll pass the turn. Sorin might have been designed for 1v1 formats, but with 2 extra opponents, that means that 1 extort trigger is enough to flip him into a Planeswalker.
Nothing scary there.
I am going to play Command Tower. I think that I am just gonna sit here and do nothing. I'm just gonna pass.
That's not suspicious at all.
Don't worry
Blue
about it.
decks.
I will untap. I will draw. I'm going to play a Cabal Stronghold as my land for turn. It can tap 4 colors, or I can pay 3 and tap it and make a black for each swamp I control. It is less good Cabal Coffers. So I'm then going to tap it 4 colors to equip the Explorer Scope to Gollum Scheming Guide. I'm going to go to combat first, before I do anything else. Queen, would you like to play the Gollum game?
If you want your Gollum to die.
I'm gonna swing Gollum over at you. I will have the Explorer Scope go off first before we play the Gollum game, so I can look at the top card of my library. It is a land, so I get to just put it onto the battlefield tapped. Yay, ramping! And then Gollum's gonna trigger, so I will look at the top 2 cards. I will put them back in any order. It is a non-land.
See, here's the thing. I think that you want me to think that you're lying because we've already discovered that you're not truthful, which would
we
make
not
me.
discovered anything.
We did, which means that you're telling the truth because you want me to say that you're lying. So I'm going to say that you're telling the truth.
You think it's a non-land?
I think it's a non-land.
Final answer.
Final answer.
All right. It is a non-land.
Woohoo!
You read me like a book. Because of that, Gollum will leave combat. Nothing else happens. I will go to my second main phase, and I'm going to tap 2, and I'm going to play out a Sword of the Animist. Equipped creature, it's another artifact of equipment with the equip cost 2. The equipped creature will get +1/+1, and whenever it attacks, I may search my library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. So having Sword of the Animist and Explorer Scope right in my hand is a huge advantage for me, because that's going to make sure that I'm either hitting my land drop or ramping up with extra land. And in mono black, there's not a lot of chances to ramp, especially when I'm facing off against 2 green decks. This is going to make sure that I either outpace all my opponents or at the very least keep up with them.
This is like Landlord Gollum.
There are 40 lands in this deck. You are not going to be able to just be like, well, statistically, there are less lands in your deck, so I'm going to say not no. No, there are 40 lands in this deck, so people can't game it.
So statistically,
that's
there are less
still-
lands.
Okay, yes, less technically, yes, but not so much for a 2-cost commander with no really huge spells except for 1.
Statistically, yes, you're correct.
My land for turn will be a Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, so each land is also a forest. Probably helps Veggie a little bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just join the party and play my commander, Arwen, Weaver of Hope. She's a 2/1 that says each creature I control will enter the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters on her equal to the number of her toughness. And I will not assert dominance and attack anybody with my birds. Because maybe I have something. Pass. My board may not look as crazy as everybody else's in this early game, but I'm not too worried about it. Arwen's on board and she's got protection. This can get out of control very quickly. I actually like my spot here.
You can always hit me with a 0/1 bird. I'll take it.
Oh, I have forests. I'll play this Woodland Cemetery, which comes in untapped because I have a forest. Thanks.
You're helping Veggie?
I didn't mean to.
He only needs to get to 111 life.
Yeah. Don't worry about
How
it.
would
It's
he
so
do
far
that?
away.
How would he possibly do that?
How could he do that?
I'm gonna pay 2 for an arcane signet. But also, I'm going to extort it, so everyone, please lose a life. And I'm going to gain life equal to the life lost.
Oh.
No.
I'm gonna play this entirely safe. I'm gonna skip through combat, and then at the beginning of my post-combat main, I did gain 3 or more life. So, Sorin, Ravenous Neonate, comes in with 3 loyalty, also has extort. +2, make a food, -1, deals damage equal to the amount of life I've gained this turn to any target, and -6, gain control of target creature. It becomes a vampire, put a lifelink counter on it if you control a white permanent other than that creature or Sorin. If only there were specific creatures I like to not be on the board that have 3 toughness.
He did say that he was going in order, so Golem's coming after you next. I'm just throwing that out there.
It's fine if he's coming after me.
It's a guessing game. Gollum, it's up to you whether you get hit by Gollum or not.
I'm a lucky boy. So
you a gambling man, Veggie?
But I'll just say the Nazgul's not going after you.
I'm not going after no one.
I hear 3 not going after Sorens, so I will just plus and make a food token.
That's how we
Did
go.
you just politic the entire table to not?
All right, that's it. I'll pass turn.
All right. We'll draw. I am going to play a swamp as my land for turn. And I'm going to tap 5 with my command tower being a blue. And I want to join the commander party and play my commander, Lord of the Nazgul. This is a 4/3 with flying. Race I control have protection from ring bearers, so in case we're bearing any rings. And then whenever I cast an instant or sorcery spell, I create a 3/3 black wraith token with menace. Then if I control 9 or more wraiths, all my wraiths have base power and toughness 9/9 until end of turn. Spoiler alert, everything in this deck is a wraith. And if it's not, I have Minas Morgul. Anyways, now we're gonna go to combat. And I am going to swing this Nazgul over at Gabe. It is a 2/3 with Death Touch, and it can't be blocked by creatures with greater power.
So I will take 2.
Correct. And with that, I have no more game actions. I'll pass the turn.
I will untap, and I will draw. I will start off by playing a different kind of swamp other than what's out.
So wait, your stronghold breaks even now?
It breaks even now, yes.
Cabal math.
The Cabal stronghold does break even, although I would have to use more resources, so we're gonna hold off on using it for right now. But I am going to tap 2. I'm gonna play a Mask of Avanci. It is another equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+2 and has hexproof. Equip cost is 3, which is perfectly the amount of lands that I have untapped. So I will tap 3, and I will go to equip it to Gollum. So Gollum now has hexproof. And Veggie, I did say I'm going in order, so we are gonna play the Gollum game. I will swing Gollum over at you, Veggie. Before we do the Gollum game though, I will have the Explorer Scope go off. That is not a land. So I cannot put that onto the battlefield tapped, but then we will have the Gollum game going. So I will look at the top 2 cards in my library, put them back in whatever order I want. I feel like you kept track of which one was on top and which one wasn't a land. So I need to make sure that you're not seeing how I'm mixing it up. Okay.
Okay.
It's just a land. Okay, sorry. Non-land.
Non-land.
Despite singing that it was just a land.
It sounded like It's Just a Man from Epic the Musical, which is permanently playing on repeat in my head.
I think that you are telling the truth. It is a non-land on top.
It is a non-land on top. So,
2 for 2.
Gollum leaves combat, nothing bad happens. Hey, I'm not a threat to anybody.
That's right.
And yet I'm getting swung at. I passed turn.
You hit me first.
I didn't hit you at all,
You
actually.
attempted to, just because you weren't good at it.
Wow. My land for turn is going to be a nesting ground. It allows me to add colorless, or I can move a counter from a permanent I control to another permanent that I control. We're going to go ahead and just start getting some stuff done. We're going to play a Sword of Truth and Justice.
Oh.
The creature that's equipped to it gets +2/+2 and has protection from white and blue. Not particularly useful at this table, but the equipped creature can deal combat damage to a player, and I will get a +1/+1 counter and a proliferate trigger when it does. I kept this opening hand because I know how powerful the Sword of Truth and Justice is in a counters-oriented deck. This is going to be absolutely nuts. I will use 2 mana to equip the Arwen, and who looks open? I did promise Veggie I wouldn't attack the Sorin.
But Gabe's
Sorin-
wide open.
I'm wide open.
That's true. And Sorin is also not my face, so that is also pretty open.
Yeah, I said I wouldn't hit Veggie.
You said you wouldn't attack the Sorin.
Yeah, that's why I'm contemplating attacking you.
The Lord of the Nazgul can't block, because you have pro blue.
Yeah, but I think the Sorin in play and all of us agreeing not to attack it is pretty good.
Well, actually, I said I wouldn't hit Veggie. I didn't say anything about Sorin.
I said the Sorin. So I will attack Veggie for 4 with my commander.
Yeah, I can't do anything about that.
All right, I will get a +1/+1 counter. I will put that on the birds, and I will get to proliferate. And I'll put some spread the love here. So then I will pass the turn.
All right, I'll untap.
I'm still a little scared of your wraiths.
I'll play Swamp, and I will pay 1 for a Soul Ring.
He did ramp.
He did ramp. And we're gonna extort, so everybody please lose a life.
Poor baby.
I mean, everything is green. Thanks, Nerd Girl.
Sorry.
That's not the pip I need. But I'm gonna make it a little bit harder to hit me. I'm gonna pay 2 for an Auriok Champion. This is a 1/1 with protection from black and red, and whenever another creature enters the battlefield, I can gain 1 life. It hurts my soul not to be using all of my mana right now, but all the spells in my hand are white. I think using both white pips to cast Auriok Champion is the best use of mana, even if it's not all of it. I'm going to minus Sorin and deal 3 damage to Lord of the Nazgul.
Oh, Veggie.
And then I'll pass turn.
That really shuts down my deck. So now I'm gonna have to figure out how to overcome that. I'm gonna play Sunken Hollow. It enters the battlefield tapped unless I control 2 or more basic lands, which I do. And then I'm going to tap 1, 2 swamps to play Cursed Totem. Activated abilities of creatures can't be activated. And then I'm going to tap 1, 2, and 3. This would have been even better if I had my commander out, but someone hates me. And I'm gonna play Pilfered Plans. This card is a sorcery. It says target player puts top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard and draw 2 cards. I am going to target myself. I'm gonna put Path of the Schemer and Pillar of Origins into my graveyard and then draw 2 cards. And then I'll pass my turn.
Awesome. I will untap. I will draw. I am then going to tap 2 to equip the Sword of the Animist to Golem. I will wait until my second main phase to play anything out. I'm gonna go to combat. Nerd Girl, it's your time to play the Golem game. Yay!
I don't want to play.
I know we were just chilling back here, but like everyone needs to play before we start focusing on one person.
I don't want to be the first person to get it wrong and ruin the whole table.
Oh, don't worry.
Don't let us
Golem's
down.
not that big right now. So I will swing Golem at you. I'm gonna have a couple triggers go off first. First thing I'm gonna have go off is the Sword of the Animist. So I will just grab a basic land in my deck. Then I will have Explorer Scope trigger, so I'll look at the top card. It is not a land.
Okay, I'm gonna watch your reaction.
Supposedly not a land.
Supposedly not a land.
I'm gonna watch your reaction.
You're gonna watch my reaction? That's a land.
You think you saying it is a
I'm
land?
saying it's a land.
It hasn't been yet, so that means it probably is. But I don't want you to take my advice.
Because
and
that would be
wrong.
the perfect time to say that it is a land, since it has.
He also
land.
You
said
guys
it.
are thinking way too much about a silly little game. I'm playing the golf. Like, guys, we're not playing checkers. We're not playing
You're getting
chess.
awfully defensive against 2 people who got it right.
I'm gonna get it wrong. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna say it is a non-land. I'm gonna say you're lying, Golem.
It's a non-land.
Yes.
It is a non-land.
Yay! Whew.
Go team.
Gollum will leave combat. I will cry. And then I'm going to go to my second main phase. I will tap 3. And look, you guys can already probably tell I love games. Games are fun. But games always have traps. And by traps, I mean I'm going to play out the Toy Maker's Trap. So this is an enchantment. At the beginning of my upkeep, I can secretly choose a number between 1 and 5 that hasn't been chosen. So if I choose 1, I can't choose 1 again. If I do, an opponent guesses which number I chose. Then I will reveal the number that I chose. If the number that I chose was guessed wrong, as in one of you guys guessed the wrong number, I get to draw a card. If it was guessed right, I sacrifice the Toy Maker's Trap. So this is just like a small way for me to draw an extra card at the beginning of my upkeep.
Okay.
But after that, I am just going to pass.
Yay, my stuff lives. Land for turn. I'm gonna just pay 4 pre-combat to play Toski, Bearer of Secrets.
Oh.
A very powerful 1/1 squirrel that can't be countered, and he's indestructible. And whenever a creature I control deals combat damage, I get to draw a card, and he must attack if able. This Toski is fantastic. It's allowing me to keep my hand full, 7 at all times, which is usually green's downfall, because it'll run out of gas once your opponents clear the board. But that's not gonna be a problem. I should be able to recover, no problem. So the Toski will come into play with 3 counters on him, because that is what Arwen's toughness is. And then we're gonna do some stuff. Birds of Paradise is coming to Gabe, and Arwen will come to Veggie, pro white.
No blocks.
I have nothing to block.
Excellent. Veggie will take 4, and Gabe will take 2. A couple of things will happen. Toski's gonna draw me 2 cards, because I had 2 creatures that dealt damage, and my sword will trigger. I will get to put a +1/+1 counter onto something, which I will choose the Arwen, and that will proliferate all of my counters. So we'll go to 4 and 3 and 2. That's a pretty good turn.
I'm going to play a forest, and then I'll pay 3 for my commander, Bilbo Birthday Celebrant. It's a 2/3. If I would gain life, I gain that much life +1 instead, and I can pay 5 mana and tap and exile Bilbo to search my library for any number of creature cards and put them onto the battlefield. I just can only activate that if I have 11T1 or more life.
Is that an activated ability?
It sure is an activated ability.
So you can't do it at all.
I can't do it at all. I'm a little ways away from doing it
He needs a little bit more life for that.
You can't do it at all.
I know, I can't do it at all, but when Bilbo enters the battlefield, I will gain a life from Aryak Champion, but that will instead be 2 life. So now I'm only 1 math away. I will also pay 3, I have 1 floating, for Camball, Consul of Allocation. Have fun. This is a 2/3. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life, and I gain 2 life.
Oh, that's a card.
Camball is going to be a powerhouse in this game because Queen has a deck full of instants and sorceries, Gabe has a deck full of equipment, and hopefully NerdGirl then wants to keep me alive because it's draining them.
So in response to Camball being cast, I'm going to tap my command tower and I'm going to play Consider. It is a Surveil 1 and a draw a card, because then I don't lose a life. And I will keep this on top and I will draw a card.
Then I'm gonna pay 1 to extort that spell. So everybody please lose 1, I'll gain 3. I'm gonna plus Sorin to 6 and make a second food and pass the turn.
Okay, I am going to play another swamp. And then I'm going to tap 3 for this Nazgul. Okay, so now I have some triggers. When the Nazgul enters the battlefield, the ring tempts me, and so we'll do that. I will keep this, my ring bearer, we'll go to phase 2. When the ring tempts me, I now put 2 1/1 counters on each Nazgul because they're both triggering. So this will go to 4, and this will go to 2. And then I have 4 open mana, so I'm going to tap 2 and play a non-creature spell. It's Call of the Ring. At the beginning of my upkeep, the ring will tempt me. Whenever I choose a creature as the ring bearer, I may pay 2 life, and if I do, I draw a card. I'm just really helping Veggie out.
Yeah, so drain 2. I'll gain 2, but that's 3.
And let's take that back a little bit. So I'm gonna go to combat. I'm gonna swing this Nazgul at you, Vegetable. This is 5 damage, Death Touch, and it can't be blocked by greater creatures, and when it attacks, I draw a card and discard a card. So I will do that. I will draw, and I will discard Nazgul.
Okay. There's nothing stopping me from blocking this with the Aryak Champion, right?
No.
On the board, at least. I'll block with my Protection from Black Aryak Champion.
They bounce,
Yeah.
and then they kiss.
Yeah.
Kiss. It's not the mouth of Sauron, so it's not disgusting.
And I'll pass.
I will untap. On my upkeep, Beth, I have a card right here with a number 1 through 5.
Sure.
Guess which number is on here.
4.
Dang it! Do you want to guess another number?
No.
Oh, I felt so clever. I was like, they're never. This is the worst time to play golf. You guys are too smart. So I will end up sacrificing Toymaker's Trap, not drawing any cards.
Oh my god.
Trying again. I did not draw for turn, so I will draw. I'm going to lose 2 life because I'm going to tap for 1. I'm going to play a Tarian Soul Cleaver. It is another equipment artifact. Equipped creature has vigilance, and whenever another artifact or creature is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, I put a +1/+1 counter on the equipped creature. I'll
gain 2, but that'll be 3.
I will then pay 2 to equip it to Golem, giving Golem vigilance. Yay! I am then going to go to combat. So, Queen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna swing Golem over at you. So I'm going to get a couple of triggers first. So I'm gonna start with the Explorer Scope.
Okay.
It is not a land. Next, it'll be the Sword of Animist. So I will put a swamp onto the battlefield. I am then going to do the Golem game.
Pause real quick.
That is a land.
It hasn't been a land any single one of these times. And I actually would like to kill your Golem with my Nazgul. So if I get it wrong is when...
So you cannot block Golem either way.
Why?
You get it right, Golem leaves combat.
Okay,
You get it wrong, Golem is unblockable.
got it. Okay, so it's a land.
It is not a land.
Okay.
So Golem is unblockable. I will draw this card and you will take 2, 3, 4. Amazing. I am then gonna go to my second main phase and Veggie, we're friends.
I saw what that card was.
You saw what that card is? Am I gonna regret this?
I
need you to look at me dead in my eyes.
Yep.
If I choose you, am I going to regret this?
If you choose me, I will do my best that you probably will regret it a little bit.
Okay.
I can't. I'll pull something fun and not something nasty.
I love fun. Fun is great. Fun, this is Golem's all about fun.
Yeah.
So I will.
Wait, hold on. Have you ever translated Veggie's version of fun? Because I have. And it's only fun for one person. And that's Veggie. Just so you're
That's a
aware.
solid argument.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tap a swamp. I'm going to play Scheming Symmetry. NerdGirl, you may go grab a card.
Any card I want?
Yeah, and then you may put it on the... So Scheming Symmetry, choose 2 target players. I'm choosing me and you.
Oh.
Each of them searches their library for a card, then shuffles their library and puts that card on top of it. So whatever card you want to draw next, you can grab. I will lose 2 life for playing it though.
I really didn't know who to give the Scheming Symmetry tutor to right off the bat. I knew it wasn't gonna be Queen because being in blue, she can always counter my stuff, especially when her commander would benefit from playing instants and sorceries. Veggie, on the other hand, he didn't have a lot that could physically do me harm, but he's gaining a lot of life, and I know once that Bilbo trigger goes off, he basically wins the game. NerdGirl's the only one that if I gave her the tutor, her swinging out on me wouldn't kill me right off the bat.
Now I could use Scheming Symmetry to get a big haymaker like Crater Hoof or something along those lines. But with Arwen on board and having Sword on her, I don't feel like I need it. My creatures are going to get huge and out of control even without a Crater Hoof. So instead, I think I'll focus on a little insurance.
I have 2 mana left. I will spend. Oh, I could have used my Cabal Stronghold. Dang it. Oh, dang it. I'm going to tap 2, and I'm going to play my own Call of the Ring. I will lose 2 life for that, going down to 27. The ring is mine. Pass turn.
All right. It looks like I have a new friend. All right, I'll draw this card that I knew I was going to get.
I just want to point out. Did we see how that card was drawn? Because that's how bad you know the card was. This is what I saw.
Did I just give you the game?
No,
I better be invited back if I did.
not at all.
Oh god.
For turn, I'll play Ozolith the Shattered Spire. Whenever 1 or more counters is put onto a creature, or whenever 1 or more counters is put onto an artifact or a creature I control, you get to put that many +1 instead. I can also pay 2, tap it to add a counter to a creature or an artifact. I can only activate as a sorcery. Ozolith the Shattered Spire was a great draw. It means that if my opponents deal with either the sword or Arwen, I still have a great way to make counters, and my creatures really need those counters to function. And when I cast the Spire, I will lose 2.
I'll gain 3.
We're gonna die.
I'll die a little later, but yes.
You know, commander damage is still just 21.
Oh yeah.
And you've already taken 8.
And then we'll go into combat. I don't want Veggie to ultimate Sorin, so Birds is gonna come into Sorin, Arwen is gonna come into Veggie, and Toski will come into Queen.
I don't think I can do anything about any of that, so no blocks.
All right, Sorin will take 3. Veggie, you're gonna take 6, Commander. Queen 5.
Okay.
Cool, I'll have a couple of triggers. I'll get to draw 2 cards from Toski, and I'll have some counters plus the Ozolith trigger. So first we're gonna go ahead and put a counter onto a creature I control, which will be Arwen, which will actually go to 4 because the Ozolith, and then I'll proliferate and give each creature 2 counters because of the Ozolith. So we'll go 6 and 6. I didn't play a land for turn, so I will play this forest. I'm happy here. I will pass the turn.
All right. So, friends, what do we do about this?
Excuse
Apologize.
me. Excuse me, where's my commander? Oh yeah, no, not friends.
I think I just have to leave everything up and be ready to crack some foods. Pass?
Okie dokie. I'm going to untap. I do have an upkeep trigger. So at the beginning of my upkeep, the ring will tempt me. I am going to put this to the side. I will swap over to my baby Nazgul. We're now on ring tempting number 3. Whenever my ring bearer becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller sacrifices it at the end of combat. And because the ring tempted me, I'll put 2 counters on each Nazgul. Okay.
It's a fun game, isn't it?
It is. And then the second part of the ring, I will pay 2 life and draw a card. And I'll draw for turn. Interesting. So we will play Path of Ancestry tapped as my land for turn. I think all I can do here is go ahead and tap out and play my commander. So he's back. Yes.
And when it enters, I'm going to remember the trigger that I keep forgetting.
And gain.
I will gain 1 life, but it will be 2 life.
Good. I think Nerd Girl has you handled, so I just don't even care what you're doing over here. So I'm going to swing at you, Gabe. It can't be blocked by bigger creatures. I draw and discard, and if it does block, you sacrifice that creature at the end of combat. So I'm going to discard Didn't Say Please, and then it will be 5 damage.
Awesome. I will take 5.
Cool. Pass my turn.
I will untap. On my upkeep, the ring will tempt me. I will put my ring tempting onto Golem. That's
Cute.
level 1. I will then lose 2 life and draw a card. And then I will draw my regular card.
Weirdly relevant.
I'm going to tap 3 to tap my Cabal Stronghold. That will net me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I will use 4 of it, and I'm gonna play out a Pact Weapon. It is a artifact equipment. As long as Pact Weapon is attached to a creature, I don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. Whenever equipped creature attacks, I will draw a card, reveal it. The creature gets +X until end of turn, and I lose X life, where X is that card's mana value. And to equip it, I just have to discard a card.
Pact Weapon is a key card in this deck. I only run about 10 creatures, so I don't have a lot of opportunities for blockers. So being able to go below 0 life really helps me stay in the game.
I will lose 2 life for playing that since it's a non-creature.
I'll gain 3.
I will then go to discard a Avansi's Collar in order to equip Pact Weapon to Golem. I'm then going to use the next 2 of my mana and 1 Swamp in order to play out a Fire Shrieker. Equipped creature has double strike. I will lose 2 for playing a non-creature spell. I will then go to equip Fire Shrieker to Golem. So I'm gonna swing Golem over at you, Nerd Girl. We'll have a couple triggers go off. First, I'll start with the Explorer Scope. That is not a land. Then I will have the Pact Weapon trigger. I will draw a card. I reveal a card. I'm going to reveal the Hammer of Nizan. So that comes into my hand. Golem gains 4 power and toughness. I lose 4 life. Then we will have the Sword of the Amethyst trigger. Just grab a swamp, put that onto the battlefield. I will then shuffle my library. I will then look at the top 2 cards on my library, put them back in any order. And I'm gonna look you in your eyes. And you're gonna trust me. Or you're not. It's up to you. There's no bad choices here. There's only the less right one. And I'm gonna say that this on top of my deck, this right here, this is a non-land card.
He's lied every time.
I'm gonna say you're telling the truth. Because I think he told the truth a bunch the first couple of times. He's only lied once.
Are we sure about that?
So I'm gonna say I'm gonna say it is a non-land.
You're gonna say it's a non-land. It is a non-land card.
Woohoo!
So congratulations, you do not get hit by Golem.
Thank goodness.
Nothing bad happens, and we just go to my second main phase, where I have nothing to do. So then I pass turn to you.
Should I just try to kill Gabe with commander damage?
If you start killing Gabe now, you're going to have to contend with Veggie and Gabe. And you might split your commander damage, and they'll have the chance to kill you.
Well, there's no splitting. I could just kill one of them with commander damage.
Oh.
Oh.
We're
I
friends.
just want to say, remember when I played the Scheming Symmetry? That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah, if you kill him with the card you picked up, Scheming Symmetry.
That's just a bad look on you. That's a bad look on you.
We'll never know though. We'll never know what the card is. So
You guys will know in the interviews. All right, we're just gonna go to combat. And Veggie, Arwen's coming at you. Birds of Paradise at Queen, and Toski over to Gabe.
okay, I'm gonna ask you nicely. I'm gonna cast Anguished Unmaking. Exile target non-land permanent. You lose 3 life. I can't target Arwen, but I can target Sword of Truth and Justice.
What she got up her sleeve?
I can respond by casting Heroic Intervention. It will prevent any of my targets from being touched.
You lose 2 life, and I gain 3 life.
I'll lose 2. Also, thanks to the Scheming Symmetry.
Okay,
She
it
wins
resolves.
because of me, and I take that as a win by proxy.
I'm gonna sacrifice a food and gain 3 life, and sacrifice another food and gain 3 life, plus 2 more to gain 8 life.
Golem will get 2+1/+1 counters because of the Tyrian Soul Cleaver of you sacrifice of an artifact going into the graveyard.
Friends.
Friends.
So I will draw 3 cards.
How much am I taking? 7?
Yes.
And I took 5.
I do have a couple of triggers as well, so I drew the 2. I will get to put a counter onto something with the sword, and then I will get to proliferate. So this is gonna go to 10, 8, and 7. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Ozolith in my second main. Whenever a creature I control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters, I get to put those counters onto the Ozolith at the beginning of my combat. I can move those counters onto different targets. and I'll pay 3 for a Viridian Joiner, a 1/2 that allows me to add forests equal to the number of its power. And he's going to come into play with 11 +1/+1 counters because of Arwen's toughness. Oh, yeah, and it's actually 12 counters because of the Ozlith. I'll pass to not Veggie.
Gabe made it look so much fun, so I left my final moments up to a 50-50. If she'd attacked him instead, I would have played Beacon of Immortality at the end of her turn, doubling my life total to over 11-1, untapped, removed Beth's Cursed Totem, and won the game. But that's how it goes.
All right, we're gonna go to my upkeep. The ring will tempt me. I'm gonna change the ring bearer to my Lord of the Nazgul. This ultimates my ring to the final level. When my ring bearer deals combat damage to a player, each opponent loses 3 life. And then my Nazgul will trigger, so I will put 2 1/1 counters on each Wraith I control. And I will pay 2 life because at this point, why not? To draw a card. That is not helpful. I'll draw a card for turn.
How's it going?
We're gonna play a game.
Oh, oh, you want to play a game? What kind of game do you want to play?
I'm gonna tap first 3 for blue, black, and 1. And I'm going to play Soren's Ransom, instant speed at sorcery speed. I have a cast trigger, so my cast trigger is going to be to create a Wraith. And then I'm going to choose an opponent, that's you.
Okay.
They're gonna look at the top 4 cards in my library, separate them into a face down and a face up pile. I will put 1 into my hand, 1 into the graveyard, the ring will tempt me.
Got it.
All right.
This will go face down. So face up, there's a Frantic Search.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty good card. You just get to draw cards. And then there's gonna be a Subjugate the Hobbits. So which pile do you want?
I would like to subjugate.
Subjugate away. And then these go into your graveyard?
Correct.
So it was just a C double and a Field of Ruin.
Okay. Soren's Ransom will now have the ring tempt me. So I will get 2 counters on each Wraith. So we'll go up to 4. I'm just gonna play all my instants at sorcery speed. I'll tap 1, 2, 3. And I will Frantic Search. With the cast trigger, I will make a Wraith. I'll draw 2, discard 2, untap up to 3 lands. This card is going to help me look for answers. Obviously, playing Subjugate the Hobbits would have been a really fun play, but I don't have the mana for it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this, hopefully draw something that will make my board state bigger and bring NerdGirl's life total down as much as possible. I'm going to discard Tomb Fortress and an island. I will untap all 3 of these lands. And then I'm gonna tap 3, Sunken Hollow, Underground River, and importantly, Path of Ancestry, because I'm gonna use that to cast Nazgul. When I use that to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with my commander, I scry 1. It is a Wraith, so I will scry 1. I will leave that on top. And then the Nazgul, if there's no response, will enter. The ring will tempt me. Now I will get 3 counters on each thing. We're gonna go to combat, and I'm gonna swing everything I got at you, NerdGirl.
Can I survive?
I don't know yet. I am going to draw and discard. So I will draw, and I will discard Thought Vessel. So this is going to be 14. This is 12. And this is 10, 11 in the air.
I will block the 14 so I don't die.
All right. So you're gonna block this one. So going through is 12 plus 10 is 22, 23.
All right, so first I'll take the 12 from the non-commander, and then the commander is?
Going to be 11.
Goodness gracious. And then we each take 3 more?
Correct.
Oof.
I'm down to 2.
So close. All right. And then I will go to my second main. I will tap 1, 2, and 3, and I will play Nazgul. the ring will tempt me. When the ring tempts me, everything gets 4 counters now.
Lord of the Nazguls is lording the Nazguls.
Yeah, we're doing it. Pass turn.
All right, I will untap. On my upkeep, the ring will tempt Golem. I will pay 2 life, going down to 0.
Oh.
I still live.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pact Weapon. I get to draw a card for Call the Ring, and then I will draw my normal card.
Yeah, I gave up 2 life and went down to 0, but with Pact Weapon on, I could basically get down to -15 and still be okay.
I'm going to start off by tapping 3 lands to tap my Cabal Stronghold, which nets me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black mana. I'm then going to use 4 of it going down to 3, and I'm going to cast Hammer of Nazan. Whenever a Hammer of Nazan or another equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach that equipment to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has indestructible. So as that enters the battlefield, it will attach to Golem, giving Golem now indestructible, on top of it's already hexproof. I will then use that next 3 mana and 1, and I'm going to play 1 ring to rule them all. This is a saga. On cast, the ring will tempt me. That will put me up to ring count 3. Then each player mills cards equal to your ring bearer's power. So currently Golem is a, actually you would have gotten a +1/+1 when your creature died. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So mill 9.
So everyone will mill 9. I will then go to combat.
So you can kill me, but do you want to?
That's what I'm
Can you beat Queen on your own?
I'm gonna go to combat. Queen, I'm gonna swing Golem over at you. Couple triggers are going to happen right off the bat. First thing I'm gonna do is the Explorer Scope. That is a land. That'll go onto the battlefield. I'm gonna go with the Sword of the Animus first. What was it? Okay, it was a land on top, so. Gonna go with the Swamp. Gonna shuffle. Pact Weapon will trigger. I will reveal the top card. It is a Swamp. I draw that. I don't lose any life. Golem doesn't get any bigger. So now Golem game will happen. Golem is currently a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So a 9 with double strike. So it would kill.
Yep.
Okay, let's play the Golem game.
Oh, God.
This is where Golem gets real fun, real interesting, real fast. There is a land and there is a non-land.
Okay.
So it's gonna be 50-50.
No.
So you don't even get to do the thing.
I have no idea what's going on top right now.
I don't like that at all.
I love it. That's great.
You've been reading me all day?
Well,
now it's time for me to close the book.
Hold on.
I'm gonna say that it's a non-land, but I don't know. So what do you think it is?
Okay, so I will tell you that before this craziness happened, that I thought that you were going to say that it was a land and that it was a land. Because you've lied every time to me, every single time. Yes.
Not the first time.
To me, he has.
You were the first person
have
that he
not
attacked and there was no lie. I was the first lie of the game, actually.
Okay. I am just gonna go with my gut, and if I lose here, I lose, and I'm gonna say
The best way to lose.
I'm gonna say it's a land.
You're gonna say it's a land?
50-50.
All right.
50-50 chance. Statistically.
Let's see what this is. It is a non-land.
Oh, no.
It is a Witch King of Agmar.
There we go, 50-50 chance, and I come out on top. With Queen out of the way, all I have to do now is be lucky enough so that NerdGirl doesn't have any answers for Gollum.
The Lord of the Race gets killed by a Wraith.
I hate it.
I will then draw a card. Gollum is unblockable. And you will take 18 damage.
All right.
Good game.
Is that what that was?
That was a great game. I think that was a great game.
I hate it here.
I'm going to go to my second main phase, since I don't think I've played a land for turn. Because I've only gotten lands off of the Sword of the Animus and the Explorer Scope. I'm going to play a Swamp.
Now I don't know what to do because my plan was to kill Queen.
You can hit me with the really big bird.
I can't. It won't kill you though. I don't know.
Do you want me
I am
continue
going
clean
to tap 4. I'm just gonna make this a little bit more difficult for you. I'm gonna play a Lodestone Golem. So non-artifact spells are gonna cost 1 more for you to cast. Not too more difficult, but hey, deplete your resources. See if you can't find an answer. And then after that, I will pass the turn to you. I just hope you know that if I do swing at you, I am also not gonna look at what the top card is.
That's okay.
I'm
Only
leaving
fair.
it all to fate.
So I just need an answer for an artifact.
Yeah, if you can destroy Pact Weapon, I lose the game.
That was not it. I'm going to tap 6, tap 7. I'm gonna attempt to find an answer. I'm gonna get to draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures I control, and then I may cast a spell with mana value 5 or less from my hand without paying its mana cost. So that's pretty good. So in this giant brick of drawing 12 cards, I did find an answer, and I can cast it for free with the Rishkar's expertise. I got Song of the Dryads, and it's an enchant permanent, and that permanent becomes a colorless forest.
So what I'm hearing is, you're gonna play that spell, and then you're gonna enchant your Ozolith to make the Ozolith a colorless forest. That's a very
Close.
smart idea.
Close. I'm gonna enchant your equipment that will make you kill yourself.
My Pact Weapon,
Oh no.
that is going to be the game.
And your Lodestone Golem almost saved you. Because you only have 1 mana left, but you have enough to pay the tax.
GG's.
Gollum did exactly what I wanted him to do. Stay low to the ground until basically the very end where he became a giant threat and that no one could deal with him. Well, unless you have artifact hate. Then, well, I lose. I have a very bad Gollum impression though. I would be like, and I'm gonna make them guess, what's on top of me? No. No, it is really bad. It is really bad.
We got that right. We got it.
Precious. Precious. My precious.
Don't forget to support your favorite Commander show by doing something you were going to do anyway, and that's buy Magic singles. And you can do so by using our sponsor, TOA.
It really is that easy, and Tales of Adventure has a wide selection of singles from the most basic printings all the way through the most premium versions. And they've also started stocking sealed product now, so you don't need to go anywhere else for anything Magic.
And you get 5% off your entire order when you use code DECKEDOUT at checkout.
And you should know by now, the link is down in the description, right there.
I really struggled after my commander was killed. I just couldn't get back going again. What this deck really wants to do is you want to see a lot of instants and sorceries being played and have a huge board. That didn't happen for me, but that's totally okay. I'm just happy that we beat Gabe at his own game, and even though I lost in the end, not a big deal. 50-50 chance, right? You know, like 40 lands in your deck.
If you're building decks and you're not using Moxfield, then I feel bad for you. It just is the best tool for organizing, customizing, and collaborating on all of your decks.
In fact, it's the only way that our team can keep up with building sometimes over 20 decks per month. And it's the way that we can share our deck lists with you in a nice, easy format.
You can always support the show too, just by following us on Moxfield, where you can find every deck that's ever been on the show.
This is the second time Arwen has gotten me a win on the show. The last time she wasn't even my commander. This is seriously a powerful card. That's all I got. Mine are always short. Don't put that in.
So there is context here.
Ultimate Guard is the industry leader in TCG accessories.
And Ultimate Guard products are the way that all 3 of us on the Decked Out team are able to organize, protect, and display our collections. And they're the best way to show off all of our cards on camera for you.
So make sure you use the link down below in the description to support the show and pick yourself up some amazing upgrades.
What's the full quote? I like half of you, half as much. That's the second half of the quote. It's I like half of you, half as much as you deserve.
I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. I know less than half of you. I know half of you half as well as I don't know half of you. I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. Damn it. I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. Got it. Okay, that should be enough.
The theme of today's episode was brought to you by our patrons, and we'd like to thank you guys so much for making today's episode possible. Without your support, we wouldn't have been able to celebrate Tolkien Day.
Really, it is specifically thanks to members and patrons like you, Jay, that we're able to keep this show weekly, and that is so cool.
So don't forget, if you would like to become a part of the show and get in on some patron voting, polls, spell table games, even have us play your Lord of the Rings deck here on the show, head on over to our Patreon where you can help us stay weekly and become a part of the channel.
And of course, JRR, you can always support us as well by clicking like on the video and subscribing to the channel. That's all we've got for you for today. We'll see you next time on
Decked Out.